question for you. You are the moral compass of Finch and Reese. So how do you see that changing now that you're getting more and more involved and sucked in deeper?
Well, she's still who she is, but she has a better understanding of who they are and what they're trying to do. And because she is for the moral good of all men, she kind of gets what they're doing. So she doesn't mind, as long as they don't step over the boundaries too much. She still has to babysit them now. She still has to babysit them and make sure they're not running amok all over the city. But I think she feels that deep down what they're doing is morally right. So I think that's why she's a little more on board now.
I think you did a great job early on of trying to toe the line, really a moving target between what was right for that particular situation, and there were many times where you said, "Hey, I'm done," and it took to pull you back into another situation. Can you talk about a little bit about how the characters have grown over the past few episodes, because they've really undergone a lot of changes? I mean, yours especially. You had to walk a fine line more than anybody else.
Oh,
the character is like one of the more interesting. I mean, you're all interesting, but you've had to walk a very fine line.
Yeah, I mean, Fusco's kind of an anti-hero, if you would. I think that Finch and Reese, in the beginning, Fusco was very reluctant to embrace the idea of Reese. And then I think as it progressed, Reese allowed Fusco to kind of come back to this self-heroic image of himself that he had once had, and kind of brought him back to what he got involved in police work in the beginning. So it's been really kind of nice to see that kind of sense of duality in the character. As I say, you're not sure if he's a good guy doing bad things or a bad guy doing good things.
True.
And so there's that undertone of potential danger at any time is always nice to play. And what I really enjoy is whether he's a good guy or a bad guy, they leave it up to the viewership. And the character's never really defined. And it's up for the viewer to determine whether or not they like him or whether they have distant from him. So it's a pretty interesting character.
Yeah, very interesting. I can keep asking questions.
Has Carter been totally convinced that Finch and Reese are good guys, or is she still on the fence about helping them?
I think at this point, she gets it. Like I said, I think she believes that what they're doing is morally right. She still has more questions, though. Like, how are you getting this information? I think that's more of what they may dig into this season, because she's still a cop, and there still are rules. And she's a really by-the-book cop. Like, she's a clean cop. Like, you can trust Carter. And I think that's why they call on her, because they know they can trust her. But I don't think her guards are up as much because, like I said before, I think she believes in what they're doing. She wants to save people. That's why she's a cop. But then there's the question of, but how do you know? How do you know? So I think that's her struggle now.
You get to operate some heavy ordnance.
I love that.
Every episode.
I like that.
What kind of training did you guys have to undergo or did you do anything?
They train us as we go, because you never know what weapon they're going to put in your hands.
I know, you put that big rifle in your hand one day.
Every week is different. Every
we had a Marine
episode.
Corps sergeant who was our tech advisor on the pilot, but from then on it's just been kind of trial and error.
Yeah.
What's it like been shooting in New York City? I mean, having come from there, I know how crazy it is.
It is for me, it was very crazy. It was very guerrilla style. It's like, okay, they throw you in the street and they throw the cameras on. It's like, go. And it's like, well, wait a minute, aren't you going to stop the crowd from coming? And they use all the people. So then you're walking down the street and New Yorkers, that's a planet in and of its own. And they get out of the way. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm shooting a television show. I'm doing my job. It's like, what do you mean, stop? I got to go to work. Exactly. exactly.
So funny.
I'm gonna do it I get a test.
Yeah. Or you're like in this middle of the scene and they're like, Taraji, we have to wheel up. And I'm like, shut up, I'm trying to go home. So that part was like, I had to get used to that. Like that kind of threw me off of my rhythm a little bit, but I'm really used to it now.
Yeah, Reese and Fusco were having a conversation on Lexington Avenue, and it was a private conversation in a public place, and we were literally, we couldn't have been no more than 12 inches apart. And an old lady walked right between us, middle of the shot, and hit me with an elbow on the way by, and just kept going. And I'm like, "Excuse me, you see that camera over there?" You know,
And they
but
don't
the camera was
care.
across the street.
They don't
You know,
care.
I mean, but literally, it was like we were this far from each other, and she went right through get out of the way, right, boom, right through. So funny.
We need to make a movie about that.
You guys put together a great product. We so look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you,
Thank you
thank you,
so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.